welcome to your flute lesson in your Sound Innovations book on page 9. So make sure you have your flute all put together. Make sure you have your book opened up to page 9. Please, please, please do not go onto this page until you have gotten good and become good at page 8. This page is going to do a lot more jumping around. There's a lot more songs on it, which is nice. And we get to Jingle Bells, which we're finally getting in the right season for that. Might not feel like it the next few days, but at least we're starting to get to that time of year, which is nice. But we're going to start with number 23. Nothing new in this song. It's all the same notes, all the same rhythms that you've seen. Just they're putting them now into the forms of songs. Watch your breath marks, and things are going to start going a little quicker. Your fingers are going to have to start moving a little faster. So I'm going to take some of these songs a little bit slower just to help you in your practicing of the song. What you can always do is pause the recording and go through it a little quicker on your own if you start becoming better at the song, which I hope you do. So the first song we're going to start with is number 23, Merrily We Roll Along. So get your flute up. Get it ready. Make sure your fingers aren't sticking way up in the air. Remember, for quarter notes, you always say the word ta. For half notes, ta, ah. And for whole notes, ta, ah, ah, ah. And that will help you through all these rhythms. So here we go. We're going to go a little bit slower. Ta, 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 ta. We're going to go about that speed. 1, 2, ready, go. That is Merrily We Roll Along. Make sure you take some big breaths there, even if you heard when I just played it with you that I kind of ran out of air on that last B flat of the song. So make sure you take some nice big breaths. It may take you a few times of practicing the song to figure out how big of a breath that you need to take on each one. But that is Merrily We Roll Along. Now we're going to go down to Au Clair de la Lune. Remember to take nice big breaths. Here we go, number 24. 1, 2, ready, go. Again, make sure your fingers aren't coming way up off the keys so that you don't have to search for where they come down, because if you do that, you might also miss the key when your fingers come down. So make sure you're keeping your fingers right over the keys when they're off. Okay, now we've got 3 new things as we come down to this next one. The first you're going to see is the common time. So up until now, we've seen 4/4, that fraction-looking time signature in the beginning. Now you're going to start seeing what looks like kind of a big C, or a fancy C. That means common time. We commonly play in 4/4, so when you see that C sign, common time, you're always in 4/4. Eventually, some people ask, well, why not just say 4/4? There's eventually going to be something else that we do with that symbol that changes things up quite a bit. So whenever you see the C in the beginning, it means exactly the same thing as 4/4. The other thing you might see is what's called a fermata. Kind of looks like a bird's eye. That means you hold the note out a little bit longer. When we're playing as a band, hopefully soon, you'll see at the end of the song, a lot of times I might hold my hands out like this, which tells you to keep holding the note out until I cut it off. So if you have a fermata over a whole note, you might hold it out for 6 beats. You might hold it out for 7. You might hold it out for 5. It just depends. But all it means is you're going to hold the note out a little bit longer. When you're in band, what that means is watch me until you see me tell you to stop. So you're going to just hold out until I tell you to stop. That's what that means when you see it in band. When you're playing on your own, you just hold it out a little bit longer. The third thing you're going to see is a composer. On the top right of your music, sometimes on the top right of the page above the song, you will actually see a name. I'm circling it right now. That would be the composer of the song, who wrote the music. In your band music, you'll also see the composer or the arranger, which means you'll see the arranger and sometimes the composer, or you'll just see the composer will always be on the top right of your page of music. All right, so first song we're going to look at now is Jingle Bells. Again, nothing new on this page as far as new notes or new rhythms. It's all the same notes you've had, all the same rhythms. But now we're getting to play a lot more songs, which makes it a lot more fun. So here we go, Jingle Bells. We're going to take this one kind of slow too. Get ready and go on your D note. 1, 2, ready, go. Sometimes the holding it out a little longer means you hold it out until you run out of air like I did that time. I should have taken a little bigger breath that time. But that is Jingle Bells. Also, as you start to play it a little bit faster, it'll make it easier because you can get more notes in more quickly. So that'll be a good one to work on to see if you can speed it up a bit. Yum bum bum ba da dum ya da 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 dum ya da 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 dum ya da 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 dum. So as you can speed that up, it'll make it a lot more fun, and it's good practice. You want to start working how quickly you can work up some of these songs. Don't want to always go too fast. But the quicker you can go, that means you're getting much more comfortable changing from note to note. All right, let's go down to Go Tell Aunt Rhody, number 26. And you'll see there's a common time in the beginning. Here we go. Go Tell Aunt Rhody. 1, 2, ready, go. Again, you think by now I'd learn to take a little bigger breath before we get to the end of the song. So I hope you're learning from my mistake on that one. So that is Go Tell Aunt Rhody. I hope you recognize probably a lot of these songs. You'll find it makes it a lot easier when you already kind of know how the song sounds in your ear. The thing you want to be careful about is sometimes the songs in the book, they'll change it just a little bit, so it won't be what you know. You might have found maybe already in a song or two that you've been playing along, you start switching into what you know, and you end up being a little different from what you're hearing me play. So be very careful to watch the rhythms that you actually have in the song. It does help to know it, makes it a lot easier to get the notes out, but you might find that you sometimes mess yourself up because you're playing too much of what you know instead of what's written on the page. So be very, very careful that you're following the notes that are actually on the page. All right, we're going to look down now at Lightly Row. This is another duet. There is a repeat at the end. We're not going to do it right now, but I just want to make you aware that there is a repeat at the end and you would repeat the song twice. So I'm going to play the bottom line first this time, and you're going to play the top line. Then we're going to switch it up, and I'm going to play the top line, and you're going to play the bottom line. So your turn on the top line first. So get that F note ready to go. And here we go. Don't repeat the song. We're just going to go through this one once. But you can repeat it with me, or you can repeat it on your own. 1, 2, ready, go. Go. I hope the top line went well for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch it up, and I'm going to do the top line and you're going to do the bottom line. So here we go. You're going to look at line B and I'm going to play line A. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so that is the Lightly Rode duet. We're going to look down to the next song. What you're going to see is a word, kind of a funny sounding word, called tootie. It doesn't mean what you think if you're thinking that. Tootie means everyone plays together. So if we have a spot where there's a solo, that means that person's going to play, and then when it says tootie, everybody comes back in. It's not something you're going to see very often in your music, but it does show up every now and then. So here we go. Let's go look at Good King Wenceslas. Don't worry about the solo and tootie in this song. This is something we would have done if we had time, if we were able to play in band right now. So if we were in band, we would actually be able to practice the solo and tootie. But just remember, soli is on your own. It's a solo, one person. Tootie means everybody. But for this song, I want you to just play the whole song all the way through. So Good King Wenceslas, number 28, last song on the page. Here we go. 1, 2, ready.
Excuse the option, if you could bring your packets to the lobby, please. Parents will be here shortly to start picking up.
Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. And there's Good King Wenceslas, and you have now moved through page 9. Make sure you take your time on all these songs. There's a lot of songs on this page with a lot of different things going on within them. So you want to make sure you get good at each song before you move on to the next song, and definitely before you move on to the next page. But that is all of page 9 for the flute, and I will see you in your next lesson.